Back on the television again today, and a little feature centred around television of the late 50s, early 60s. I'm hoping it'll bring back a few memories of some familiar signature tunes and a few familiar faces. But as a special opener, bearing in mind we've just lost the vintage entertainer Des O'Connor this week, a little reminder of him. Now, I've got the usual caveat with these YouTube extracts. If adverts fire up, I shall pause the video. The end result might be a little bit rough, but we'll just have to do the best we can. Right, well, here goes. Hope you enjoy it.
Remember romance, the way we would dance. Classic from Castella, for the man who thinks that little bit bigger.
Rainbow, gold and sly, find treasure, a beguiling thing, especially when it can buy a ransom for a king.
Oh, thank you. I'd love another helping.
Robin! Fire! The barn's on fire!
Smells delicious. Have you ever heard of Robin Hood?
Robin who?
Not Robin Hood. Robin Hood. He's a famous outlaw and dresses in green.
Why?
Green is the colour of the forest where he and his men hide from Prince John. Green blends in with the forest colours.
Sure, you're terrible liars as well as spies.
Well, it's true about the green.
And what happens when it snows and the forest is white?
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men, feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood.
I'm just going to pause the video there for a second. We seem to be having focusing problems on the telephone for some reason. So I'll just let it try and sort itself out. Did you recognise those characters in in Robin Hood, Friar Tuck, he was always hungry and eating, wasn't he? Maid Marian, of course, the heroine. And isn't that advert at the beginning nice with Russ Abbott fishing with Des O'Connor records? I love it. Anyway, let's press on. I don't know why they've got focusing issues, but we'll press on. Now, what about this next one? Again, a hero of childhood television.
Come away with William Tell, come away to the land he loved so well. What a day when the apple fell for Tell in Switzerland. Come away, Tell to the mountainside, look down to the pass where the tyrants ride. Hit a ball, and down they go for Tell in Switzerland. Hurry on, there's a dungeon cell. Hurry on, there's a noose as well. But we'll escape from the jaws of hell for Tell in Switzerland.
It's Friday. It's 5 to 5. It's Crackerjack. Yes, Crackerjack. First episode appeared in 1955 and it was actually at 5:15. Then it was 5 o'clock, but sometimes it was 5 to 5. The first shows were hosted by Eamon Andrews of This Is Your Life fame. And a young 26-year-old Ronnie Carver helped keep the kids laughing. Jack Douglas of Carry On fame was the straight man to Joe Baker. In 1964, Leslie Krauser started presenting it, and all kids growing up in the 60s remember Peter Glaze. Peter started the show in 1960 and went on till 1978. In 1968, Michael Aspel took over presenting the show. Then in the 70s it was Ed Stewart, and in the 80s it was Stu Francis. Oh, I could crush a great Crackerjack was a variety show for kids. And for whatever reason, when someone said Crackerjack, the kids in the audience went wild and shouted it back. The Crankies appeared on the show and their kids loved them. The show was fast-moving, noisy, and very slapstick. Who can forget Double R Drop? Where if you got a question right, you got a prize. If you got it wrong, you got a cabin. The trick was to keep collecting everything, and for God's sake, don't drop it. There were lots of other games it played as well. These games involved near impossible tasks, but with its party-like atmosphere, the kids loved it. The chap nearest to the camera on the right is no other than John Burko. You know this fella. Order! Look at that face. Anyhow, Double or Drop was the main game. There were lots of prizes you could win, and everybody liked the pin badges that got handed out. But the most coveted prizes, just like the Blue Peter badge, was the Crackerjack pencils. Now, I always thought it was pretty naff because it was just a pencil, but it was actually a very smart propelling pencil with Crackerjack on it. And these pencils now are highly sought after and are as rare as rocking horse manure. The years progressed, it became a pen for whatever reason, but a very smart pen all the same. Crackerjack also featured music from pop stars of the day, from groups like the Shadows to Pinky and Perky. There was ventriloquist galore, and the now iconic Basil Brush, plenty of slapstick sketches, and I'm certain most of it wouldn't be PC now. Even a Doctor Who sketch with a real-life Dalek. I know they're not really alive, but you know what I mean. And in the 70s, Don and Pete did these sort of silent movie sketches. And at Christmas time, you always got treated to a pantomime with famous guest star. In this Aladdin pantomime, Pan's people from Top of the Pops made an appearance. I wonder what that coachload of Boy Scouts made of these girls. Whoa! Sadly, after entertaining children for 29 years, the show came to an end.
after that little reminder of Dr. Finley's casebook, do you recognise these three fellas? Well, you can't really see the one on the left because of the titles are in the way on the pause video. But it's three entertainers who were well known on the television front. The one on the left is Dickie Henderson, who was a singer and had a sort of variety show, didn't he, for a long time, Dickie Henderson's show. He spoke with a sort of slightly mid-Atlantic accent, and he was sort of American style sort of delivery. He seems to have completely faded into obscurity now. He was a big name in television in the 60s. The man in the middle is Max Wall, and he'd been in show business a long time and a famous name for a long time, but I think he fell for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. It'd be interesting to just look into his background a bit. I have an idea he fell out of favour with management for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but he sort of made a comeback in the late 60s, 70s as this sort of zany, rather sinister almost character, and he did a sketch dressed in black tights as a sort of mad professor with a long-haired wig. And then the man on the right is Billy Dainty, and I can remember seeing Billy Dainty in pantomime at the Palace in Manchester when we used to go on Sunday school trips to the pantomime on a Bostock's coach. What an excitement that was. And the thing I remember about Billy Dainty was he used to specialise in strange walks and things, and he did a fantastic impression of walking like a pigeon with his neck going. Anyway, what do you make of this lot? I'll play it for you.
Tell you what, why don't you use your style of dancing, I'll use mine, and you use yours, and we'll see if we can do a routine together.
Splendid! I shall make every endeavour, Dick.
Splendid!
That was the line, really.
Of course. Shall we give it a whirl?
Yes.
Think you can keep up with us?
Of course I can.
You passed the test.
I've done it.
Okay, Harry.
Well, there we are. That's the end of today's reminder of yesteryear's television. Yes, Billy Dainty used to feature in the pantomimes at the Palace. He always played the dame, of course, but he did a great comic turn. Right, that's all for Cheery Tunes today. I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye for now.